Hello there. My name is Fred Pieplow and welcome to the very first installment of Question Time. This is the video blog for busy business people. This is the time when I get to ask a lot of questions from anyone who will take the time to answer. I will also take your questions to get real answers to real questions that you might have about how to run your business better. So if you have a question related to doing business in Michigan's Great Southwest, anything associated with that, send me a note. You can reach me at fpieplow@mannamanagement.biz. That's a lot, so let me spell it for you. F for Fred, that's me, Pieplow, P-I-E-P-L-O-W, at Manna, M-A-N-N-A, management, all one word, .biz, B-I-Z. And that link will be on our website for you to just click through as well. Question Time is sponsored today by 8094 Media, LLC and Manna Management, LLC. And we hope you enjoy the show. Again, my name is Fred Pieplow, and I am your CQA. And that is Chief Question Asker. That'll be my title. It's my job to peel back the onion and develop interesting topics for small business people so that they can run their business better. I believe that if you're not asking the right questions, you'll never be presented with the right answers. Hence my tagline, better questions, better results. Today we will chat with you about a handful of topics and entice you to ask me questions. Send me a note, give me a call, and help me to bring you interesting topics that will assist you in doing your day-to-day job in your business. We will talk a little bit about cash flow. It's one of the things near and dear to my heart. I'm an accountant by training, so cash is king and queen and jack all at the same time. I'm a reader, enjoy reading business books, and I have a quote today from Tom Peters, who's one of my favorite. Wrote several books. The first big one was In Search of Excellence, and he says, excellence is not an aspiration. Excellence is the next 5 minutes. Then he adds, think about it. The point is, if you're not excellent in the next 5 minutes, how do you expect to be excellent at the end of the month or at the end of the year? So you have to be excellent all the time. Question Time will be presented on 8094.tv from time to time, and hopefully more often than not, but several times a month I will interview guests and present their insights to you on the show. So I hope that you enjoy it. Okay. What I would like to chat with you about now is a report that just came out today, January the 24th is when this is being recorded. This is from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and it is called Benchmarks for the Next Michigan, a 2010 update. And I'm sure this is on their website. It came with a newsletter that I get. But it compares Michigan with 17 other what they call benchmark states, as well as the nation. And on general competitiveness foundation, and there's 7 areas that they rate the states on, Michigan was ranked 29th out of obviously 50 states. And of the 17 what they call benchmark states, and by that they mean states that have relatively comparable economies, we ranked 16 out of those 17, and just below the national average. So I'm not quite sure what that means, but it is certainly, then they compared the trends between 2002 and 2010. And most of the trends were down, but not all. But the 7 areas of competitiveness, the foundations that they talked about, are human investment, financial resources, innovation resources, infrastructure, business costs,
globalization and vitality, and quality of life. Of those, we rank the highest in innovation resources, number 6 out of 50 states, so that's pretty good. We ranked 39th in human investment and 44th in globalization and vitality, 38th in business costs, so 37 states rank higher than us in the cost of doing business, according to this survey. But as bad as that is, it was 42 in 2002. So we're moving up the ladder there, but it's still not a very good position to be in. But many of the other areas dropped dramatically. Globalization and vitality went from number 7 to 44. It's a huge drop. And you can imagine that's because of the auto industry and the problems that GM and Chrysler in particular have been having, as well as Ford and all the other suppliers to both the big three and all the transplants. But anyway, Michigan's general competitive position has certainly declined in that 7-year period. A couple of items in the financial resources. We are below average levels of small and micro business lending, SBIC, small business financing, and commercial industrial loan portfolios are well behind averages, according to this study. We are weak in attracting federal funding and winning competitive federal grants. And in the business cost area, we have higher than average tax burden, like we didn't already know that. But they do note that it's decreasing, but we will yet to be seen if that really comes about. Higher property tax burden, generally higher cost for utilities, health care, and unemployment insurance. So many areas that are critical to successful operation of a company, particularly a manufacturing company, are all higher than average in Michigan. But again, nothing we didn't know. Our quality of life has gone down, according to this. Higher than average student to teacher ratio, poor health outcomes, and not much alternative energy. So on whatever scale they have, we didn't rate very high. Although most of us in Southwest Michigan would probably rate our quality of life as very high. I do. It's a terrific place to live and work. But the Michigan Economic Development Corporation study shows that we have a long way to go, and we stand ready to assist our legislature and our governor and our county in whatever way that we can. Our Berrien County has an Economic Development Corporation, which if you don't already know what they do, go to the county website, berriencounty.org, and look them up. There are revolving loan fund for manufacturers and other commercial entities, as well as other resources to assist. And the Cornerstone Alliance and other chambers in the area also have resources to help. The state has the Michigan SBTDC, the Michigan Small Business and Technology Development Center, has consultants who can help. And so there are resources available, and if you need help finding them, give me a shout. A few weeks ago, I sat down with a friend of most of us here in town, Mike Green, who's the director at the Harbor Habitat for Humanity. And he had announced his resignation, so I wanted to talk to him before he got out of town. He moved to Chillicothe, Ohio, to take a position at Ohio University, and we wish him well. But in the interview that I had with him, we spoke about a lot of things, and you can see the whole interview at 8094.tv, and I encourage you to do that. But we talked about leadership and what advice Mike would have for the executive director to follow him at Habitat. And this is what he had to say. What's your advice to the incoming executive director?
Advice. This work is not about any one person, and the advice would be to listen and learn and respect the other voices that are at the table. You can't work in isolation in an organization like this. Yeah, sure, you need a leader, but that leader must understand that their role is not about themselves and not about what they are, but more about the community and the team and how to pull people together and keep people moving in one direction. So we're a drama-free organization. I take great pride in that. When drama raises up somewhere, we're headed right there to put it out. But this is not about us. It's about serving other people. And if we have that focus, that outward focus, I think whoever comes in and replaces me will be successful.
Great. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Mike, and that you go to 8094.tv to see the longer, full interview. Mike had a big impact on this community, and we wish him well. One of the newsletters that I get is from the National Federation of Independent Businesses. The NFIB is a terrific resource for small businesses to keep up to date on legal issues on a national and even a state basis. And so I encourage you to go to their website, nifb.org. Today, they were talking, one of their segments was about business plans and keeping them up to date and current and taking a look at them during the year, which is something I highly recommend. There are 4 areas that they suggest you look at during the year to see if you're on target. And they're very common areas, but areas that sometimes get overlooked. First one is statistics, what I call measure what matters. And in your business plan, I hope that you have some metrics, a measure of labor hours per unit of output, or some other measure, or a handful of measures that you look at to see how you're doing on a month-to-month, week-to-week basis. And you should look at those to see if they're still relevant, or if there's something better that you should be measuring. And if you're off target from your plan, you should really try to understand why. And then consider whether you need to change that measure. They also suggest, as do I, that you talk to your employees. Walk the floor, talk to your salespeople, see what's really going on to see if the assumptions in your business plan are still relevant or need to be edited. If there's a corrective action that needs to be taken, they suggest that you don't just follow your instinct, don't just take the suggestion of one employee, but get a group together and brainstorm possible corrective actions. The sum of all the good ideas will be generally much better than any one person could come up with by themselves. And last, to reevaluate that plan on a regular basis, usually quarterly, to see if there's any major updates that need to be done to the plan. If you're wildly successful and you need to update the plan to figure out what you're going to do with all your money, or if you're off target and you need to regroup and make a correction before there's a crisis. Either way, use the planning process to test yourself, test your decision-making process before you get to any kind of a crisis. Very good advice from the NFIB, and I highly recommend that you check them out at nfib.org. Well, I hope this has been informative for you, and that you come back often at 8094.tv. Look for the video blog called Question Time. And that is me, Fred Pieplow from Manna Management. And you can send me a note with any suggestions or comments, questions you might have, or suggestions as to who we might interview on the show. Send those to fpieplow at mannamanagement.biz. Again, that's F for Fred, Pieplow at Manna, M-A-N-N-A, management, all one word, .biz, B-I-Z. This is question time, and I am your CQA. That is Chief Question Asker. And the mantra of my generation when I was a teenager was to question everything. And that's what I suggest that you do. Question everything, because better questions lead to better results. Have a great evening.